students. So what I would do is I would take the deposits up front from the floors just to secure their order, and then I would take that money and I would go buy all the stuff that I needed, and then when they paid the balance, that would usually be my profit. So I just kept sort of reinvesting the profits and continue to grow the business order by order, floor by floor, slowly. And I loved doing it. I was passionate about being at Laurier and working with people who were getting cool Laurier gear, because I loved the school and I loved that people were really passionate about it. It was an easy sell. And I got to meet great people, and I did that while I was in school. So for the next sort of 3 or 4 years, I continued to do that. I was sort of known around campus as, if you wanted me clothing or whatever it is, you'd go to see me. And I loved doing it. And when I graduated, I got a great education. And I graduated debt-free. The money that I made while I was at Laurier selling reswear and floorwear sort of paid for my education, which was fantastic. And more importantly, and I didn't realize it at the time, I really learned a lot about school. I learned a lot about business. I learned a lot about building relationships and the things that you needed to be a successful entrepreneur. When I graduated, a lot of my friends, worked at KPMG in accounting or Procter & Gamble and all these big companies, and I'm like, I kind of like this. I'm going to just keep doing it and see where it goes. I'm passionate about it. I don't want to get a real job, so I'll just keep working for myself. And I started at my parents' basements, again, kept overheads low. And not being on campus is a little harder to sell into the university market. And so I started focusing on companies. So we started to sell to radio stations and companies in the Toronto area. I realized companies have way more money than students, so I could charge more, and they order in larger quantities, which was great. And I just started focusing on that and sort of building a promotional product company, a company that supplied branded goods to other companies to help motivate their staff, increase their awareness, and did that for a while. In 2001, we sort of merged our company with another competitor and grew in size, got to double. Looking back, my passion is growth. I like learning, I like growing. Some entrepreneurs, and there's lots of types of entrepreneurs. There are some who own a really great restaurant or a bookstore, and they're really passionate about making that the best they can be. And there are some who want to build huge businesses. So it's important to understand what you want out of life and what you're passionate about, not necessarily what would be cool or what your friends are doing. So find out what is going to make you the happiest and try to be that, whether it's an entrepreneur running a company or even an intrapreneur. We really encourage people who are entrepreneurial minded to come work at our company, because you will get the sense when you've got your own department or committees and you're leading a task force, you have a lot of autonomy. You've got results-based is what's going to make you sink or swim at our company. And it's a really great environment to continue to learn and to grow. So whether it's starting your own or finding a company that has like values and visions of what you want, I would highly recommend finding that when you guys graduate and stuff. So I did it. I'll continue back on my story. In 2001, after merging, we launched another company called I Love Rewards. And it was after a client of ours, ING Bank, came to us and said, hey, we like all the branded stuff. We like doing business with you, but the branded stuff we're buying really isn't motivating anybody. No one's selling any harder, no one's working any harder. They're not really motivated by ING branded goods. So we need to fix this, otherwise we need to, we're going to lose them as a client. And that's where we launched I Love Rewards. We understood that our client was the frontline call center employee who was trying to upsell you on GICs and mortgages and RRSPs, and to give them all a backpack with ING on it isn't going to motivate them to sell anymore. So we surveyed them. We asked them, what's important to you? What's going to drive you? And we realized that the things that they wanted were everything that we didn't sell. They were Apple iPods and Coach purses and gift cards and movie passes. And we were kind of like, okay, well, what do we do now? And we had the choice of we could evolve and adapt and grow, or we could lose them as a client. And so we did that. So we put all of our energy and emphasis on building a web-based rewards program that would award points based on your sales or whatever behavior the company wanted to instill in you. And it took us 9 months to build the technology, to test it, to find all the supplier relationships, and we really created another little department within Snap called I Love Rewards for one client. The one client we didn't want to lose was our biggest client at the time, and they started using it and they loved it. Their eyes lit up, they got the stuff that they wanted, and instantly, a year later after we had this problem, we've sort of solved it, we realized that, you know what, this is a better business model. It's better to let people choose their own rewards and earn points based on their performance than giving them all a sweatshirt with the company logo on it. That doesn't motivate anyone. This solution does. The challenge is that 90% of our revenue, over 90% of our revenue, is all in the promotions business, and less than 10% in one client was in I Love Rewards. And we were more passionate about this. It was a better business model, and it was actually one of our board of advisors who came to us at that meeting and said, you know, I understand the promotions business, and I understand the incentives, but if you've got $1 and 1 hour, put it in the incentive business. The promotions business is garbage. Sorry if anyone's in that business still, I apologize. And we realized, you know what, it's hard to scale that business. This one has way greater value add to our clients. We can grow this into a huge business. There's barriers to entry, and there's a true value add to our clients. So after that meeting, you know, the journey began of, well, what do we do now? We've got two businesses, and we need to figure out where we're going to invest our time and energies. And we started to do that more and more with I Love Rewards, and we had more and more success. And both companies are now growing. And it's good and bad, because you now have revenues from two different sources. You've got to spread your risk a little bit, but it's also painful to grow two companies. And I think that's one of my pieces of advice for any young entrepreneurs out there, is don't focus on what you love and what your passion is and what business you want to grow, and focus on one business. I was at a program, I got accepted in a program last year called Birthing of Giants. It's at MIT, and they select 60 entrepreneurs from around the world to go into this 3-year program, and one of the speakers was a guy by the name of George Nadoff. And he's 76 years old, a serial entrepreneur, multimillionaire many times over. He's taken 4 companies public on the NASDAQ. He launched Boston markets in the US, and his piece of advice to us was, he's like, listen, you know, I've done all these great things, but I've never figured out how to love 2 women at the same time, sit on 2 toilets at the same time, or run 2 businesses at the same time. And right there, it made sense to me, like, I can't do this. I was struggling trying to create 2 great companies, and right there and then I realized I need to sell one. So I had the 2, you know, the one of the future and the one we wanted to make into a great company, and the one that was a majority of our revenue, and we decided to put the dollars and invest our time in the better opportunity. And we sold Snap Promotions, which is the company that I started at Laurier a few months after that for just over $1 million, which was fantastic. So out of the dorm room, it was really the first seed money that I got to put into I Love Rewards and help grow and focus my energies and efforts on that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about I Love Rewards and what we do. So similar to that ING example, we run loyalty programs, rewards programs, incentive programs for companies. Think of your Air Miles or Aeroplan on a consumer program. Companies like RIM is a client of ours, Sears, KPMG, every Rogers call center. When you call into the Rogers call center, everyone who answers a phone is running a program, is on a program that we run back at the Incenter, which is the I Love Rewards Toronto office. And we basically work with these companies, Benjamin Moore, to help them design programs that will help drive a behavior. Whether it's increase sales, or motivate employees, or get more pledges, whatever behaviors they want, they would outsource that to us. And from design to delivery, we'll build them a solution that is performance